the Upfront Toronto podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Upfront Toronto, conversations with people that move the city forward. I'm excited and happy to interview today, or for us to interview, Afrim Pristine from the famous cheese boutique in West End of Toronto. Liza is with me.
Hello, everybody.
And I know the cheese boutique for years. We have worked with them as 20 years ago, but they have changed and grown, and doing research on Afrim kind of blew my mind where they've gotten to. They've started in 1970 in Bloor West Village. Today they have a 10,000 square foot amazing store, 80 employees. They sell cheese to anybody who counts in the city and probably further away from there. Afrim, really annoys me as a person because I feel like I've achieved and accomplished nothing in life. And looking at the accolades of what he has done, world's youngest maître fromage, youngest Canadian recipient of, I'm screwing up the French, I'm not going to even say this, but a whole lot of accolades regarding cheese. Top 30, under 30, huge into non-for-profit, and which really I dig. And so not only are they successful, but they work with a lot of organizations such as CAMH, Sick Kids, Women in Capital Market, and Humane Society, and many more. Been on a bunch of shows. And I saw also the latest thing is the Cheese A Love Story. This summer was released. I saw 2 episodes. Afrim, I was blown away by the quality of your program. You are amazing on camera, and I really recommend anybody to check it out. Even if you just like cheese a little, you'll be blown away by what you learn there. So welcome, Afrim. Have I missed anything?
Thank you. A whole bunch, but this is good enough. It's okay.
I figure if I went through the whole list, we could end the show then, and we're done.
No, you did very well. Thank you.
We cover So we want to talk to you about you're a family business. My connection with you guys is that we sold to you some Burekas type products in 1998 and 1999, I believe. And I worked with your father, who I got yelled at a few times. And but he always yelled at me, and I felt good about myself. I don't know why. And then you had to move to the new location, and there was the thing. Yeah. Can you describe how that was when you had a bustling store in Bloor West Village, and then the lease ended? What happened?
Well, it was it's a long story, but we had a 30-year lease on Bloor West Village, and inflated every year, just like a typical lease would. We started off with 500 square foot. We doubled in size to about 1,100. We doubled our offerings. Got bread and cheese, meat, deli, olive oil, balsamic. We were constantly evolving and adding more offerings. In about 1996, we had purchased the building where we are now. So where we are now on Ripley Avenue, just off of South Kingsway, we've had that building since 96. It was our acting warehouse while we were still up on Bloor. We had no intention of leaving Bloor West Village. This was an investment, but it was also very close where we can, use it as a warehouse, as an aging room, like just storage and that kind of thing. And, I would say about 1998, negotiations started again with renewing the lease up on Bloor Street. And, Bloor West Village, the rents went bananas, very sky high. It didn't work out. We couldn't get a deal that was happy for us, or vice versa. The landlord couldn't get a deal that was happy for him. Shoppers Drug Mart moved in there afterwards, which explains a lot. But for us, it was a big, bold move. Technically, we had been open 30 years. My family could have locked the doors, retired, and that was it. They worked very hard for 30 years. They were in their, 50s, mid 50s at the time. We could have locked the doors and that was it. but we didn't do that. And you know, we were looking for locations and looking for locations somewhere close to Bloor West Village. Didn't work out. And my dad said, what about that space on Ripley Avenue? And there was, I mean, in terms of pros and cons, there was very little pros and it was all cons.
Okay.
It was in the middle of nowhere. You know, there's dirt and rubble on the streets. It was 10 times the space of which we had. So, you know, we'd have to completely adapt our business model into doing more, becoming more of a full-fledged like food shop as opposed to a small cheese shop. And it would have been a lot, but we did it. And it was you know, the boldest move my family's ever made. It would have been a bold move for any business in Toronto to make, and we did it.
Yeah, I remember
Anyhow,
talking to you guys then, like when I was talking to your father at the time, and I heard that the lease was that you were moving. I was afraid for you because you were on one of the most amazing neighborhoods, pass by traffic. I find that like small business, and you're now way more than a small business. You're at least a medium-sized business, but we're always not aware of how our connection with our consumers are. We think, I know I thought like my location is why people come to me, or all these things. But what have you learned from that move? Well, how many people, how quickly were you busy?
So it took a while, you know, I'll tell you a story. There's a lot to talk about with this move, right? But we, on December 24th, let's go back. June 24th of 2000, the first day we opened on Ripley Avenue, okay? And December 24th, which is traditionally of that year, 2000, is our, you know, December 24th in general for our store is the busiest day of the year, no question. Very, very busy, very profitable, okay? That December 24th, you know, we were dead as a doornail. And my brother, my dad, and I would stand on South Kingsway with a sign saying cheese boutique that way, arrow that way. That's what we did. Translate to, you know, December, I'll talk about pre-pandemic, December 2019, the same day, December 24th, we had 3,700 transactions in the store. You know, it was like a club in cheese boutique. There was lineups all the way down the road. That's what happens. Location is something you learn in grade 12 economics. In this day, it doesn't matter anymore. Look, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but to have a location, that is the only thing that's going to make your business busy and profitable. Not even close. In my opinion, it's not even close.
You know, we were talking
work ethic, it's dedication, it's looking after the consumer, it's quality, it's service. These are all things that are timeless, right? Toronto is a pocket of neighborhoods. We are in one of those pockets. We're surrounded by condos right now. And, you know, people say, oh, it's a very affluent area. Who cares if it's an affluent area or not? We have people coming in who, whether they can afford shopping at the cheese boutique or not, I don't know. I don't care. They still do. So this is the thing where people are going to pay for a good quality product and pay for good service. You don't only have to be in, you know, Forest Hill or Rosedale where, you know, yes, there's multimillionaires, you know, one after another. That's not business anymore. That's not the way it is younger generations, 25 to 35, understand why a loaf of bread costs $10, where, you know, maybe an older age cohort, oh, wow, that $10 loaf of bread is really expensive. It's kind of how it's shifted now, right?
You know,
where, I mean, look, we get all kinds of customers and ages. Yeah.
I just want to say that I think
Go ahead.
Your perspective, I think you take a little for granted how you guys do business, and not everyone does business the way you guys do. You've created like,
no, you're totally right.
Yeah, it's because of you guys and how you do it. You know, I can count on two hands how many cheese stores I know that have gone out of business in the past 20 years, and they didn't manage to make that jump to become a destination as you guys have. And it's like a magical kind of it's a formula that's hard to put your finger on, but it's you guys, it's what the store looks like, it's how people feel about you, etc. And like you guys did an amazing job, and I can like I was afraid for your success at that time, and you guys like proved it multiple times how it worked well, and working hard and standing on the street with a sign because you care and are afraid.
But a business owner has to do what they have to do. And, we're up to 100 employees now, still very much the family. My brother and I, my two brothers and I, my sister-in-law, my niece and my nephew. I have 5 staff that are 35 years plus. I have another 5 staff that are 20 years plus. We have our core, we have our managers. Customers come in to see me, my brother, this staff. Like this is who we are. We're not pretentious people. We're humble people doing one job. I have one job, is to make every customer walk into my store, experience it, and leave with a smile on their face.
Afrim,
that's my only job in life, actually.
That's amazing.
If you can do that and make it profitable at the same time, and doing this for 50 years, you get a business sense. You understand what people want. You understand your costs. You understand your overhead. Once you figure all that out, your job is to make the customer happy. That is it. If you think it's any more, you're not doing it right, in my opinion. It's got to be that simple. That's our role in the food industry, whether you're a top chef or a baker or a chocolate maker, whatever. You put your heart into what you do and your creativity into what you do. And hopefully the consumer on the other end loves it. And if they love it and it's good, they're going to come back for more. We're not in this for a year. We're not in this business for a year or 2 years. We're in it for 50 plus. Business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You have to build it. You have to build it. You have to listen to what the customer wants. It's so important. I think that's our biggest strength.
I hope every person that wants to open a business just hears what you just said. And Isa, I'll let you in one sec. But when we talk now, we're talking almost 20 entrepreneurs in the city who are all very successful. And the one common thing is exactly what you said. They want to satisfy the customer. Like they're there for them. And then they say, well, they have to be generous. You have to be generous, and you don't even look at your profits at first. You'll figure that later, like you said. Bring the customers, and then you figure things out. Liza, what was your question?
My question was, how much time do you spend in the store? I did a little research on you, obviously, before the show. And I'm like, is this guy actually in the store? Because you seem to be everywhere. How much time do you get to spend with customers?
I've been getting that question a lot since the show's come out.
Sure.
And my staff, they laugh. I'm in the store. Let's just do it on a 30-day basis. Okay, look, if I'm filming outside the country, I'm not here, right? But generally speaking, I'm the first one in every morning. I live very close, and I need that 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. time to get work done. So let's say easily in the store 75 hours a week for sure. And then, another 10, 15 with like outside events and stuff every week.
Okay.
Maybe I take 1 day off a week. A month. I probably take 2 days off a month. So about, close to about 90 hours. I'm in the store on the floor helping. And you can ask my customers and you can ask my staff. But it's funny. I get that question a lot. But then they see me everywhere. And then in the store, it's like, how do you do it? Well, I manage. I figure it out. I'm very organized. I'm very calculated. My calendar is very, it's full. But that's how I like to keep it that way too. I like being in the store. So I'm here a lot. I'm here every day.
Afrim, we're really sorry to have taken you off the floor this hour. So we appreciate it. And you can run to the store.
Good. I'm not far, trust me.
Yeah.
I'm about 20 feet away.
So your commute is, I read this in an article. Tell me, is it like 100 feet away? Is that true?
Yeah. 42-second walk. Yeah. Literally.
Okay, so that must make life
so we
a little
opened up
bit
a
easier.
bakery, Yeah. It makes life easier for me to be here. Work-life balance is something after 25 years of the business, I'm still trying to figure out. It's happening slowly but surely. But no, it works out very well. It works out very well that I don't have a far way to go. Look, our strength is coming and seeing the actual owners of the business slicing the prosciutto or the cheese for that customer. They love that. Yes. Now, with the show, people are shocked and thrilled that I'm helping them pick their cheese out. Oh, no, I didn't need your help, Afrim. It's okay. I know you're busy. No, this is what I do. I like that. I want to shock people. I want to shock people to be like, holy crap, he's helping me. Holy, I can't believe he was in Niagara at an event last night and now he's here this morning. I want people. That's my strength. That's my strength, is my work ethic, because I want to be there for my customers. The way to maximize on a cookbook I wrote or a show is to be here and is to be accessible. I'm answering every direct message on Instagram. I'm getting hundreds and thousands right now. I answer them all. I answer all the emails coming into the store. Afrim, we loved your show. What was that cheese in the Quebec episode or whatever? I answer all of them. Can I do this forever and ever? I don't know. It's it's a lot of time, but right now I have to. Because if I don't, I'm leaving money on the table, and that's the business part of me. Of course, I want to please the customer, but I'm also a businessman at the same time, and I have bills to pay, and all of that. So we're in a very good spot, and 2020 was the pandemic year was our busiest year in 51 years, and we never worked harder. We never had to pivot more. We never had to evolve, be better. Give better pricing, give better value, this, that, and the other.
And your store is, I think, for people that are not familiar with the store, it's so much more than just cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's an emporium of food things.
Yeah, the name Cheese Boutique is not synonymous with our business anymore. Of course, we don't want to get rid of that brand, but we look at it this way, is that the energy, the focus, and the resources we put into our cheese program for the last 50 years, we're now implementing in every aspect of our business, whether it's baking our own bread, prepared foods, produce, we age our own beef. We are our own little kind of biosphere here, and we sustain ourselves and we supply ourselves.
You seem to be
menu.
Yeah, you seem to be like a whole Kensington market in 10,000 square feet.
Right. Yes, that's kind of the plan. So, right? Like that's the plan, where it's multiple different concepts within one roof.
Afrim, where did you get that?
Well, so far.
Where did you get that work ethic? That's question number one. And question number two is, how is it to work with family? So you're second generation. Your father started it with his brother, I believe, and now you're working.
Third.
You're third generation?
No. I'm third. Okay. My grandfather and father and their family started it.
So you're ruining the model. The model usually is the first generation starts the business, the second generation grows it, and the third fucks it up. But you're making it even bigger. Why?
Yeah. Well, we have a good pedigree, and work ethic easily has come from my father. He's the hardest working person. I mean, you know him. He is the hardest working person I've ever met. He's incredibly educated. He's smart. He's shrewd in the best kind of way, because you have to be, right? Like, look, you can have all the passion you want in the world. That does not mean you know how to run a business. That you can make the best bread in the world. That means nothing. That means zero, okay? No, it doesn't mean zero. It's a starting off point. But are you making money from selling that bread? If you sell the bread for $10, great. But it costs you $9.50 to make. You're making no money. It's these things that I've learned and have been instilled in my brothers and I, and the family and the staff. I mean, it just trickles down. But a work ethic it's the only way. We don't sit on our hands. I do 20,000 steps a day in Cheese Boutique. I'm everywhere. I want to know what's happening. You ask me any cheese I have right now, and I have a lot of hats that I wear here, okay? And I say it humbly, okay? I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not that kind of person at all. But I think it shows how involved the ownership is you ask me any cheese, I have 600 cheeses or so right now. You ask me any cheese, I'll tell you within 10% what our inventory is right now. I'm involved. I need to be involved. Possibly, I probably don't need to be involved actually, but I want to be involved. I like knowing these small little nuances of how the business runs, because if I know that, my brother knows that, the 10 managers know that, then like we're gonna rock and roll, and it's just gonna be like smooth service, no problem. We know how much product is coming in and how much product goes out on a daily basis will blow your mind. You need to be on top of it. We strive to get better. Our job is, we don't need to know how great we are. We need to know where we can improve. And that's what we've done over the last 50 years, right? But the work ethic is, yeah, like all those hours I work, and that's my dad, no question. But I've also, I mean, in my 20s, I spent probably 2.5 years of my life in my 20s living all over Europe, learning from the best cheesemakers and chefs on the planet. So, I call it the school of hard knocks, where, I had to pay my dues. I wasn't getting paid. I was doing stages with this person and that person. I was milking goats, sheep, and cows. I was learning, I was honing my skills. And that's kind of, I think it's a lost art a little bit, but I was honing my skills and just like fine tuning them so I can do anything. And like for me, I want to be able to cook a 5-course meal for you, give you an epic cheese and wine tasting or an epic cheese and beer tasting. I want to learn about all these things. If I can learn about all these things, my breadth of knowledge on entertaining and food and pairings and this, it makes me stronger, right? And it makes Cheese stronger.
Do you talk to young entrepreneurs or about this work ethic? I think it's something that's lacking out there. So many younger entrepreneurs that I work with, a lot of them just they're looking for that big success that happens quickly with minimum investment. And that doesn't, like, it's so rare. That's like winning the lottery. Most businesses I don't know many business people that put as much effort as you do. But even if they put 50%, it will be quite a bit. So do you talk to young entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I do. I do more on the collegiate level. So I do a lot with the student programs, different student programs at George Brown College, Humber College, and Niagara. I've done many, many talks, whether it's like how to build the ultimate cheese board or pair it with wine or whatever, but then like more service oriented on the hospitality side of it, like more front of the house kind of stuff, because that's my job too, is service, right? So, yeah, for sure. I do a lot. I'd love to do more, but it's time too, right? But like, those 3 colleges give me an open invite, Afrim, anytime you want to come down. And I like it. I think I have a lot to, I think I have a lot to showcase and offer. And I think another one of my strengths are, I'm 41. So I've been literally doing this since I'm a kid, but I think I'm in a very interesting age where, we live in a very different world now. We live in an Instagrammable world and social media and, trends and this and that. So I've seen a lot of it. I've seen a lot of this industry. I've seen it when it was pre-social media. I've seen it in the heart of it. I think I can bring like an old world training, that's how I was trained, but a new school attitude, right? So just something modern, because you have to, right? Like you cannot, it's not 1998 anymore. This is 2021. However, you should be thinking 2028 and where we're going to be then. And that's, I think, I love talking about that stuff because I think I'm good at it. And I think it's so important, right? It's so important to see how this business, not this one, Cheese Boutique, but what we all do, how it's going to evolve. And we need to be able to profit as the evolution happens, right? And we need to be able to be in line with how all this changes.
Afrim, where do you see Cheese Boutique in 5 or in 10 years?
That's a good question. Everybody in this industry thinks, multiple locations is the way to do it. I actually think not at all. I think multiple locations is I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of people who went and expanded and it did not work out for them very quickly. In 1 or 2 years, they figured it out. It's very hard. And I'm not knocking anybody. It's hard. I don't want to do it because I don't think I can. We opened up a bakery on Ripley Avenue, 50 feet down from where we are. It's a full bakery, gelato bar, cafe, okay? Kind of multi-concept, 2,000 square feet. It's doing incredibly well in the first 3 months of its business. Like, we can't keep up. The sales are through the roof. It's manageable. It's controllable. It's we moved down 50 feet. I mean, I'm back and forth. Like, this was a big part. It took us 5 years to figure that out. Have I been offered to go put a store here, there, and everywhere? Literally 500 times. We're not interested in that. Once you start doing that, you really start depleting and thinning out your brand, in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
I'll give you an example. How we see the business evolving, just getting better at what we're doing, okay? In this one space, we have room for growth. Our wholesale program is through the roof. Our catering program is through the roof. These are 2 businesses we created overnight 10 years ago. Curbside pickups, through the roof. Brand new business. Direct to home consumer delivery with our own vans, through the roof. I created 2 new businesses overnight in the last 18 months that are extremely profitable. So I mean, it's just thinking smart. I'm doing a lot of appearances in people's homes, talks and stuff. It's big money. It's big money. I can't make that money during a service on a Saturday. I can't make that profit margin. I show up with one of my staff into someone's home. I'm there for 2 hours. I'm in and out, and it's a big ticket item. People want this so much. We're doing dinners after hours at Cheese Boutique. That is the evolution. I'm not growing by doing another location. That doesn't mean anything. For me, it's how do I maximize my strengths, whether it's my personal brand or the Cheese Boutique brand, and it's going very well. So it's those little things.
So you have the bakery, you have gelato, you have the cheese, you're making meats, you're catering. So basically in increasing and strengthening that base, do you see any new business that you'll add in the next 5 years, do you think? Anything that's really enticing you?
Well, yeah. Well, we're also a landlord. So we have another building on the street that we leased to Hook Seafood. I don't want to do fish. I just collect the rent check from one of the best fishmongers in the city. They're 10 feet away from us. Now I'm using my brain. So that is just income coming in every month. We're doing more of that. So I have other spaces. I'm talking to different restaurateurs. Hey, you want to come build a whatever restaurant here? Absolutely. I got a lineup of all these people that want to come. I'll be a landlord there. Maybe I'll open up a little wine bar. Our growth right now is on Ripley Avenue because I want to open up a flower shop. So all these things, or I might not open up a flower shop. I may get a florist to come do it and they just pay me rent. One of those things are going to happen. So all these little things add up. Instead of building a 15,000 square foot store in, whatever, Newmarket or Mississauga or Oakville or whatever, which is a brand new business and a heck of a lot more work. And for me, now I have to work smarter. What we're doing, I feel, is working much smarter, growing, more profit, offering the consumers more, and not depleting ourselves and depleting quality and the service that people are expecting when they come here.
That's it's really exciting to hear. You're kind of using old school business in new world where you're creating your own village almost. And it seems as if the best thing that ever happened to you was that rent increase on Bloor Street. Which forced you to, that couldn't happen anywhere else. And it's so inspiring to hear you saying all of this, how to embrace change and make the best out of it, but work your ass off to make it happen.
Yeah, and have fun doing it, right? Like at the same time, I mean, I think you need to have fun. I'm here 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week. I mean, I need to do things where we can have fun, make some cool experimental cheeses, or fun events and stuff like that, like this. But we have a food truck too on the weekend that we're running every weekend. So there's 5 or 6 businesses that we're operating or indirectly operating every day, right? So it's sometimes I forget even, because it's just like so much going on. But no, look, like I think business is that you can't sit on your hands and sit and think about how great you are. Where can we improve? How can we do more? We're driven. I mean, like we're driven people, and that's, the sky is the limit. It's cheesy to say, but what you put into something is what you get out of it. It's really, that's.
So you're in Toronto. You're in Toronto,
Yeah.
Afrim.
Yeah.
How? One of my questions, and I want to just get to some city-related questions, but one of my questions is, how do you relax? Like, do you relax? What's your downtime like? Or is the fun kind of woven into the downtime and work as well? How do you do that?
It's a good question. I mean, I like to go out for, I like to eat well. So I like to go out to dinners. I was just at the Arkells concert on the weekend, and they're good friends of mine. They gave me tickets. So I love going to concerts when that's can happen.
Right. And what is one of your favorite restaurants for you?
I got lots, but I love Julieta. I love Aloe Bar. I love La Palma. I love Bar Vendetta. Rum Bar. I like those, more neighborhoody restaurants, those kind of smaller neighborhood restaurants.
Do you have a favorite neighborhood?
Well, I got cheese with Bloor West Village still. I mean, Bloor West Village, just because it's nostalgic for me. That's where I grew up. I love Roncesvalles as well. I love Ossington. I think Ossington strip of food is, I think it's easily the best in Toronto. I think it's the most bustling. I love it there. I love Mamaka's there, the Greek restaurant there. But yeah, Toronto's an exciting to get back to what it was. It's still a ghost town, but the neighborhood restaurants now are doing record numbers. Social distancing and all, they're doing record numbers. It's very exciting. I think the boom is coming back. I think the quality's always been here. I think the management's always been here in Toronto, and I think there's a very great close-knit community. We're a very great close-knit community, and I have a lot of collaborations that I do with. I'm doing one with Italy right now. I'm doing one with Aloe restaurant, a bunch of wineries in Niagara. I mean, Niagara is doing really well right now. So like-minded people make magic, right? So for me, I like to do a lot of cool, fun collaborations that make sense, and that can be fun, and then just offer something different, right? And I think people want that. Patrick Chris from Aloe to design a menu that you can get on takeout. We did that, and we oversold. It was crazy. So Toronto, I think, is doing really, really well. I think the one, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a knock about Toronto. I think it's, we're always a bit, I find it a bit annoying where, we're always looking to see what New York and Chicago are doing. Who cares about what New York and Chicago are doing? Let's just protect and see what we're doing. And I think we can create our own trends. We are small pockets of neighborhoods
Afrim,
with people from all over the world. Not many people have that, which is amazing.
where will you go in the world? Like the one place in the world that inspires you the most? Where in the world would you go that inspires you the most, food-wise?
I think it's hard to pick one place, but man, that's tough. Because when I go, I focus on certain things, right? But look, I think Paris is definitely a place to go to. Obviously heavy on the cheese side, but pastries and bread and that kind of stuff too. I love Paris. I love San Francisco. I think San Francisco is one of my favorite food cities easily in North America. To be honest, I mean, I'd say Montreal for sure as well. I love Montreal. I love the vibe. I love Montreal is so different because the people are different. The diners are different. When you go out for dinner, it's just different. It's a little bit more like you're walking into someone's home. You know, and sometimes Toronto, these big like multi-million-dollar restaurants is like, it's big. It's a lot. It's very, you know, a little corporate-y, which is what it is. But yeah, like Montreal, San Fran, Paris, maybe Tuscany for like country stuff. Like for me, I think the best food you ever see is out in the country, not you know, in downtown cores of big metropolises. But I get inspired wherever I go. I mean, I self-inspire myself, so I can see I can get inspiration out of a flower store, and I make cheese wedding cakes. Oh, those flowers would work perfect on cheese wedding cakes. Like weird things inspire me. I don't go on Instagram to inspire me. I'll say that.
I appreciate you saying that, though.
Well, I like Instagram. It's a good business tool, but for me, I'm not going to learn on Instagram. That's not really
no, it's very
style.
It's very one-dimensional. It's so
Well,
yes,
yeah.
it does its job, but when you walk, like I was in Montreal a few weeks ago, every time I'm blown away by the quality of foods I have there, and I forget it's so close to us. I agree with you with San Francisco is a favorite also, but Montreal's right around the corner, and you get also culture, and you're inundated by the feeling almost. It's something you're putting yourself in that situation rather than just looking on a screen. So
no, I agree. I think there's just a little bit more heart and soul in Montreal than maybe even Toronto, right? I think Toronto has its strengths. Montreal has its strengths. Toronto, we can get anything from anywhere. I think the multiculturalism of people, you see it in the food. There's Little Jamaica, Chinatown, Greek Town, Little Italy, like there's not many places in the world that have the cultural diversity in terms of food as Toronto, in my opinion.
Well,
Paris or Rome or whatever.
We're all second or third generation from people who came from somewhere around the world.
Right.
And this is all melding. Like it's all like we're seeing that the results of that on the streets and in the restaurants.
Yeah, totally. And I love that. And like it's that's how I learned. No, I'll add Toronto. I learned in Toronto. I filmed an episode in Toronto for my show, and we kind of went with a very different angle. Is that let's showcase Toronto and all the different cultures here and how they utilize cheese. I went to a Filipino chef. Let's see what she does with cheese. I went to an Indian chef. Let's see what he does with cheese. Like I went to all these different cultures and their utilizations of cheese that I couldn't get to India. But you know what? I went to my buddy's place, Indian background, and he showed me exactly authentic, traditional. So you can do that here, right? Like there's not many places that you can do that. So that was a very cool episode for me to shoot, because even in my own backyard, I learned so much.
What do you feel is the biggest missed opportunity for the city? Because you've done so much traveling.
In terms of food, or not even, or just in general?
Well, just in general, or food. I mean, even from a business perspective.
Like, are you talking more on the food side?
Sure, food, or even business, from the business perspective.
So Lakeshore Boulevard. I mean, that beautiful stretch of water. I live down here. The store's right here on the water, practically. That stretch from here, past Ontario Place into the East End, I think is incredibly underutilized. Ontario Place is sitting there empty for 10 years. I think is ridiculous. I think knocking down the Sky Dome and putting a $750 million like wicked baseball stadium. I love sport. Toronto loves sport. A beautiful baseball stadium right down the water with slash a bit of an amusement, some bars down there. Like it's a ghost town. There's nothing, and there's beautiful lakefront property like how many cities as big as Toronto has waterfront like that, like in the world? Not many. And we just have nothing down there. I think there should be bar after bar, a club or whatever, a couple cool restaurants, all the way down into the beaches area, like all the way down there. I think that is a way massively missed opportunity. Let's do it with some finesse. Let's do it with some proper design. Let's make it very Toronto. I love it there, but I just wish there was more.
Right.
I think that's one. I think in Toronto too. I kind of said it. I mean, I think we need to pump ourselves up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
My mom always said, "Eat what's in my plate, not what's in someone else's plate." And excuse me, I think we can just toot our horn a little bit more. I've had some of the best meals of my life here in Toronto. I think Niagara is it's amazing. I think it can be so much better. I think Toronto needs to get a little bit more involved, or just Niagara just needs to update a little bit. I love the wine, like the wine quality there is probably the best in Canada. I mean, it has the climate, the bench, and like everything is perfect for it. I mean, when I go to Napa Valley, I'm blown away. I think we can do that in Niagara. We just have to put a bit of energy, a little bit of youth and enthusiasm into that. I don't know if we're considering Niagara Toronto, but I spend a lot of time in Niagara, and I just think we haven't peaked, not even close.
So having said that, where do you see Toronto? Where do you see the city in 5 years?
I think I see the city in 5 years growing. Growing a lot, and it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. There's markets opening up, and then there's another one, the waterworks off of King Street. I got a frog in my throat. I think that growth, can be good or bad. I think we have to kind of see how it's going to change. The city planning. I think it's something I don't know if we've done very well is just forecasting. And this is the thing, when you start looking 5-10 years, you need to start looking 5 or 10 years down the road to figure it out, to figure out the growth. How many people are migrating here? How many new condos are going up? All these things have to be thought about when it, I think, comes back down to the food and the culture. We want to keep our culture. We want to keep. The best part about Toronto is the people here, is the people, and the people make it. I hope that doesn't get dispersed, and I hope we don't get too corporate-y. We need corporate, we need the big banks, we need all that. But I think the beauty of it right now is that there are those mom and pop, heart and soul, small businesses that add personality, and that add the personality and the charm of what Toronto is. As we grow, we can't lose that. So how maybe to answer your question, that's kind of it.
As a business, how is it for you to work with a city? And I'll ask you this because we have a restaurant on Geary Avenue, parallel, and we applied to put a pergola outside to cover the front patio, and it's been forever for them to respond. They only responded to us once we involved the councillor and their office, which were amazing with working with us. How do you find you're creating your own village on Ripley? Is the city working with you? Are they need their help or not?
Yeah, a bit of both. I didn't know that was your restaurant. I love that place. So yes, like we've gone to the city, and it's worked sometimes, and then things fall on deaf ears. Sometimes that happens. We asked for those rent a bike things where you can rent a bike and drive. It's one of those, those systems where you put your swipe card in there and you rent a bike or whatever. It's one of those spots. We asked for one here on Ripley Avenue. They gave us one. We asked for a few more trees planted on Ripley Avenue. They have started doing that. We want a walkway because there's a lot of traffic now, walkway traffic. We want a sidewalk, so we have asked them. And we work closely, like all the municipal leaders are clients of ours, and, I'll pull them aside in the store and start asking them, for this, that, and the other. Some stuff works, Some stuff, oh, you got to go higher and higher. I mean, we've asked and they have done stuff. So I can't knock them there. Do we want more? For sure. I mean, like, we'd like sidewalks. We'd love the street paved a little bit, and it's been a long time because it's a weird street. I mean, it's industrial. At the end of the day, our zoning is industrial. It's not residential. It's not even commercial. So, working with the city, of course, it can be tough. They have a lot of responsibilities, especially now. They have a lot going on. And at the end of the day, I think the Cafe TO thing has been amazing. I think the restaurants being able to sell wine the way they can right now has been amazing. I am looking to get my liquor permit as well, which has been incredibly difficult because of our zoning. So, it's black and white. I mean, with the government and things like that, it's black and gray. Oh, you can, and a lawyer said, oh, you can kind of do this. Look, I don't want to do this. I'm 51-year brand. I have a lot to lose. I need to do it on the up and up.
You need a liquor license. Yeah.
Where it's black and white. Yeah, we're working on it. So there is a way where we'll be able to maybe not pour a glass of wine for the customers, but have a little wine cellar where people can buy wine, which, to be honest, that's what I want anyway. So, I mean, to answer your question, I mean, look, dealing with government and kind of big business things like that, it's never easy. You're never going to get exactly what you want, how you want it, which at that point, you got to be realistic. And I think they respect, we're 51 years, and on our 50th year, Doug Ford and Mayor Tory both wrote letters and congratulating us. And hey, they didn't have to do that. And it was a nice touch. It was a nice touch on, I think they feel that we have been part of the community and everything we give back to the community. It's nice. Like, it's nice to be, look, it's always nice to get a pat on the back and from them, fantastic. They've been good to us, generally speaking.
So I have one final question, and you mentioned this sort of inadvertently, but what are the charities that are close to your heart, or charities that Cheese Boutique supports? Or
So well, I'll tell you, the biggest one is mental health.
Yeah.
So we had a major loss in our family not long ago. My youngest brother passed in 14 months ago. Due to mental illness. He was 35 and had 2 kids. And even prior to that, he was suffering for years. And I'm on the board of directors at St. Joseph's Hospital over here. And I was born there, and now I'm on the board of directors there. And they brought me on a couple of years ago. It's funny. It's like I'm sitting beside Brendan Shanahan, right, the president of the Leafs, and Victor Dodig, the president of CIBC, and then it's me. So it was just like, I felt not in the right place, but they really wanted someone kind of respected in the food sector, and just kind of, we've been doing a lot of work with them. So over the last few years, we've created the Cheese Boutique Mental Health Fund through St. Joseph's Hospital. St. Joe's has the second biggest mental health program in Ontario, behind CAMH. CAMH is another one we do a lot of work with, but we've done about $1 million in the last, just us, $1 million in the last year, dedicated to this fund. And in this fund, because the mental health program is so vast at St. Joe's, we actually decide where the money is placed. My family and I, we work directly with the board of directors, and we decide where the money goes, which is very important to us. Yes. So we do a lot. I mean, we do a lot. It's very meaningful. On the Mental Health Day, January 29, 5 years ago, we started every sale, not profit, but every dollar sale we've given to the mental health program at St. Joe's. And, we've done $60,000, $70,000 in a day at times. A lot of different events I'm doing. We work with, apart from them, we do a lot with CAMH, similar style of programming, a lot with Sick Kids Hospital. And they're always somewhat meaningful. Like I had a very bad speech impediment when I was a kid, like very, very bad. I had a stutter. So for 5 years, 7 days, 5 days a week, I did speech therapy class at Sick Kids. And now I speak in front of thousands of people. So I always kind of say that they got me, they did an amazing job with me. So I do a lot with Sick Kids Hospital. We're big dog people or animal people. So Toco Humane Society, we've done, I don't know, 50, 60, $70,000 worth. We constantly do stuff with them, and there's more I'm missing, but yeah, we do a lot. We're very active. A lot of community stuff. So Swansea School, different public schools around the area. We're fortunate to be in a position we can do more in the community.
Afrim,
we get a lot out of that.
I want to
tax receipt, like,
first of all, that's outstanding,
Go
the
ahead,
amount
yeah.
of work you're doing. I personally have a strong connection, not by choice, but with sick kids and also with CAMH. Our daughter is on the spectrum, and they were outstanding with how they helped us. So like, kudos to you for stepping in and doing a lot of work with them. And we want to really thank you for everything. I'm charged just by listening to you. I don't know, you have so much energy and passion. It's outstanding. So really, really thank you for joining us on this, and from Liza and myself. And we wish you only the best. You're part of changing this city, and you're part of moving and creating a new city. And is there anything else you want to say to wrap up this conversation?
Let people know where they can find you, either on social.
Cheeseboutique.com is our website. Our social media handles, at Cheese Boutique and at Afrim Pristine. For anyone, I mean, like, the show I'm really proud of, and this is something I worked on for years. It's the first of its kind, and the ratings were amazing. We're going to do more of them. But if you like food and cheese, watch Cheese: A Love Story. I would definitely say it's on. You can watch the episodes on Food Network website. They're all there. But look, we love what we do, and we're very fortunate. I'm lucky to have the best clients in the world, right? And I love what I do. Like, I'm gonna finish this Zoom call and jump right back into slicing prosciutto or cheese for whoever needs it. Like, this is love it. I literally love what I do. I can't do many things in life very well. This is one of them.
I kind of doubt that statement, Afrim.
Well, I have strengths, but I have weaknesses as well.
Of course. I mean, one of the biggest secrets is to know your strengths and weaknesses, and complement them. And that's how we see success. Wonderful. Afrim, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Such a
pleasure. I'm going to drop by the way.
So much fun.
Yeah. I'm going to drop by and say hi, either this week or next week. And
but are you still have pita?
Of course. So we today, we will stop where we ended the thing. We have a 90,000 square foot bakery in Woodbridge. So at Steele's and 400, we sell our flatbreads and crackers across North America. So we saw, thank God,
so bring them in, because I want to have a look at them. I mean, we carried them for so long, and I know now we have the space. So
I'll come by. Don't worry.
A bunch of flatbread crack. I want to see everything. Send me an email, and because my nephew's kind of looking after that area, and I told him that I was talking to you. I told my dad I was talking to you. So I definitely please sooner than later.
Yeah, I'll bring the sesame butter, because I think there's a lot of connection there.
Right.
But and I'll come by. I really appreciate your willingness. Give your father my warmest regards. I remember
he likes you a lot.
Honestly, he gave me so much shit, but I left really feeling good. So
but I'm the same way. My dad never swears at people. He never talks bad at people. But he's a leader. He's a teacher. He's a very smart person. And believe me, he talked like that to me my whole life. But I learned. And I learned. And you have to look through, you have to look past it a little bit to understand the messaging. And when you do, look what he did. Look what he built.
I only felt love from him. Honestly, I don't know. That's what I felt. Because he had that, he has this look in his eye that is a twinkle of whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember Manusha bread?
Yeah, of course.
He loved him. Like, there's a few bakeries where he just loved the product, loved the people, and that's who he was. if he finds someone like himself, he'll be your best friend.
Yeah,
So,
very cool.
Anyway,
Okay, man, I'll come by.
Come and see me though.
I will.
Yes, please.
Take care, man.
It's
Thank
important because I flatbreads, crackers, like thank you. All the
I'll
best
bring you
guys.
everything. And come to Parallel. I'll buy you lunch or dinner or whatever.
I'd
also.
love
That's-
to.
That's
I'd love
our-
to. I've been once. It was amazing. I'd
Thank
love
you.
to do it.
Thank you.
The Upfront Toronto podcast.